Hello, folks. Tonight we're looking at Red Stripe. Examine Red Stripe. Well, I don't know if anybody's going to join me. It's kind of late for the people I wanted to join. Jean-Pierre is out to dinner. John can't do it. He's got to wake up early. And so forth. Anyway, I do believe that Reviewing Under Influence wanted to join, but I don't see him. This label, okay, now there's the Red Stripe. This is a stick-on label, okay? It's not the old painted on, but it looks like the label is painted on. It feels like it's a painted on plastic. It's strange. Because you remember the old labels when they came from Jamaica were painted on. Okay. 4.7% alcohol. Give you a little rundown on a Red Stripe Jamaican style lager. This is an 11.2 ounce bottle. We can also get the 24 ounce bottles here. They were selling cans for a while, but I've not seen them in a little minute. Desno and Geddes, that's the owners. But they were acquired by Guinness, the Diageo people. Apparently, Diageo is selling the Red Stripe brand to Heineken, but I don't know if it's been completed. I don't know what the business deal is about, because now the American website is defunct, but there's still the Jamaican Red Stripe website, and I have that called up here on the computer, and it's that was where the music was coming from. It says right here, Red Stripe, a Diageo company. So, but they're showing on the shelf. Now, if you look at their website, it's it looks like a bar. We'll get to that in a minute. The beer, it's golden, it's bubbly, it's clear, but even with this dim light, because it's dark at night, that's not the brightest lamp, I can see little white specks, okay? It had a little bit of a head. This is not really the proper glass. It's a tulip glass, something you'd be more properly, you would drink an ale out of it, like a pale ale or an India pale ale, but I just rinsed it out and poured this in there. Red Stripe is not exactly complex anyway. Little biscuit note. And the aroma. Biscuit, little cracker. It's kind of a hybrid aroma and flavor between the American and the Euro lagers, okay? Nice hop bitterness. I don't know what the IBUs are, but I'm thinking they must be around 17. It's a grassy hop note. This bottle was too expensive, but you can find deals on Red Stripe occasionally. Not the best deals. It does tend to be at a premium or above premium price. It's not as prominent as it was around 1999, 2000, 2001 with the Hooray beer, heavy advertising. I mean, Red Stripe was out there and well known, and a lot of people drank it, and the advertising, if you notice, has tailed off. The website's defunct now. Over here, I'm looking at the Jamaica website, and there is a British UK website too, I think, and it kind of tailed off. But I think everybody can find it. I don't think it's a situation where you just absolutely cannot find it. Looking on their bar website, on the website with the bar, Okay, they're showing Johnny Walker, red, black, green, J&B, Guinness Foreign Extra Stout. Let's see, they're showing a Red Stripe Light, which I never see anymore. The Bold, which we'll never see, or we have not seen. That's their malt liquor, 6%. And like I say, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different Johnny Walkers, J&B, Smirnoff, Tanqueray, Bailey's, some other liqueurs I don't recognize down here, and Heineken. Heineken. And then there's this Red Stripe of this Jamaica Malto. And then there's different snacks, and there might be Easter eggs on this site where if you click a certain area, something will come up that you're not expecting. I have a feeling. There's a thing about sponsorships, advertising, and then our beer. So I'm clicking on that. Same stubby bottles that we get here. Then there's a profile of the Bold, the Light, Red Stripe says and they're showing a mug, you know, standard beer mug for it. And they're saying 12 ounces on that bottle. Hey, you rip-off artist, you're showing a 12-ounce bottle and you're giving me an 11.2-ounce bottle. What gives? What's going on around here? As you might expect, this Caribbean brew boasts an extremely refreshing taste by balancing malty, sweet, and lightly hoppy flavors. I agree with that. The result is a lager that's crisp, clean, and easy to drink. Yep. And tastes, with a taste that enhances good times with friends. Well, see any friends here? But I know some people are watching the big game, which, yeah, the Cubs are playing Pittsburgh, and they might have a big fight because they were throwing the ball at each other, and I'm going to miss that for this. Okay, Cubs are winning. I want to enable question and answer for anyone that wants to submit that. Okay, so that is truth in advertising, except for that 12-ounce photo in this 11.2-ounce reality. Our style. This is James Bond's beer, it says. A cool drinking lager with a little something extra. Yeah, I do think it has a little something extra relative to what you get in like most of your mainstream beers. They didn't say a lot extra, a little something. Let's focus on the word little. It's not appreciably different, but it's subtly different. Red Stripe Lager captures the very heart and soul of Jamaica, or in our case, Pennsylvania. Get to that. The perfect pour. Uh-oh. The perfect beer for the big game. Savor it. Oh, the big game. Savor it with close friends by pouring it ice cold, which I did, not quite ice cold, and pairing it with your favorite salty snack. So here the brewer is telling you ice cold. Okay, you're not drinking Imperial Stout. Notice they're not showing Dragon Stout here, their original beer. Okay, now to the history. Now, this is interesting. If you look on their website, the redstripejamaica.com website, there's a bunch of old bottles they're showing. They must have kept them at their brewery. I guess I'd like to visit that. And it showed Desno and Geddes, the two British founders. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different bottle designs, plus the Light and the Bold. The Bold is in a small bottle. Okay, so we go back to 1918. They're saying our company was born in 1918 when Eugene Desnos and Thomas Geddes merged their carbonated soft drink business. Apparently they were doing a cola business down in Jamaica, British Jamaica. Pepsi Cola, 7-Up, and they D&G brand soft drinks. As well as they were the distributor of the best imported liquors. Other major brands include now. Okay. The company became a well-established manufacturer. All right. Sorry about that. But this was beverages. That was their thing all along for 98 years. Beverages: Heineken, Lager, Guinness, and Dragon Stout. Dragon Stout was their original beer. Don't see it around here. I've seen it in Queens, New York, some other isolated locations, and I've always bought it because it's delicious. It's a great beer. Probably, I don't guess it's popular like Guinness, Foreign Extra today. And most of those beers like Guinness, you know, they're brewed in Jamaica, okay? Contract brewed. Now, yeah, now here, I'm not going to read the whole thing to you. You could do that yourself. But they're talking about how when they came out with Red Stripe in 1928, it was ale, heavy and dark. But they went in, I think, 1938 to the bright lager. And that's when it took off. So it was kind of popular. And then they did it in the macro lager style, and it became the most popular Jamaican beer. Jamaica remained a British colony until 1962, okay? It's today what you call it, a Commonwealth realm. Jamaica is a Commonwealth realm. Queen Elizabeth's still the Queen of Jamaica, and she has a governor who represents her there. You know, but they have their own parliament, their own prime minister. Okay. Although the Caribbean countries can still appeal court cases to the Privy Council in Great Britain. I think the House of Lords is involved in that some kind of way. So they're independent countries, but they have they don't really have developed Supreme Courts in those countries, so they can appeal cases to the Privy Council in Great Britain. They're no longer allowed to do that in Australia as of not too long ago. This is not a government video. All right. But that was the case in Australia, that they could appeal cases to England long after they became independent. But there's a different viewpoint. There's a different conception of that term in the Commonwealth countries and in our country. But going on. Oh, they're saying they first brewed it in 34. I read out somewhere else that said 38. The creation of Paul Geddes and Bill Martindale, two guys that developed the light lager. 1935, Jamaica's governor, remember, appointed by the king at that time, now the queen. He sends a dispatch to London warning, this local industry turns out a beer so excellent and at so cheap a price that the English beers are unable to compete. So the British government said, well, just put a high tax and make it unprofitable. But there was an uproar, so they said, no, they backed off on that. Okay, the British beers will just have to compete. They didn't really. Red Stripe became the king of Jamaican beers. 1958, younger guys took over, Peter Desnos and Paul Geddes, built a new brewery. Okay. 1970, D&G became a public company. The family controlled it until 93 when Guinness, Diageo, took it over. Okay, so there we go. There's your 23 years now. It's been owned by foreigners. In 1976, the Wells Brewing Company of Great Britain started contract brewing Red Stripe over there. So this is not an unprecedented thing. In 2012, Red Stripe, Diageo, made a contract with Latrobe Brewing to do it there in Pennsylvania. At first, I was not impressed. Didn't taste right. I said, yep, there it is. Brewed and bottled by Red Stripe Beer Company, Latrobe, Pennsylvania. In other words, city brewing, you know, of La Crosse, Latrobe, and Memphis, Tennessee. The makers of the infamous Melanie brewing beers like MX Ice and Pitbull malt liquor and other lovely items like Four Loko. It tasted like a city brewing beer. I was like, oh, this tastes like Milwaukee Special Reserve. Milwaukee Special Reserve is one of those dreadful city brewing beers, branded things that I gave it to a friend, and a friend of mine tried a can and he poured it down the drain after one sip. And he is not a beer. He's a beer fan. He drinks beer. He's not a like discerning beer reviewer. He just said, that's garbage. I'm not drinking that. But it seems like maybe Red Stripe, their management people worked with City and said, you know, we can see there's some problems here. And they've got it back to where, because this tastes like it used to taste. Okay. In 2012, it didn't taste right. I noticed right off the bat. I was at the store and I saw a Jamaican style lager. That was a clue to me that it was not an import, because it used to say Jamaican lager. They couldn't legally say Jamaican lager. It's not from Jamaica. So that right there is a disclaimer. And I said, Latrobe, oh no. And it tasted like, oh no. But they must have done some improvements, because, you know, the Guinness beers, the Guinness Blonde American Lager comes from Latrobe and La Crosse, and they do a great job with that. Not to mention, I had the Sapporo beers. The bottled Sapporos come from La Crosse. I had the Sapporo Stone Warrior that somebody sent me, and I believe that was from La Crosse, Wisconsin. Boy, if you find Stone Warrior, you've really found something. The Pabst Old Tankard Ale is coming out of City Brewing. So it's obvious that as the contracts grew, their ability to improve the quality of the products grew. And so now they've got it where they're nailing it. You know, they're still putting out the horrors, you know, and there are people that drink the stuff. Not around here. I never see anybody. And some stores tried to sell that private label stuff like the Milwaukee Special Reserve. Nobody would buy it in Louisiana. I'm not saying Louisiana has erudite beer appreciation on the whole, but there is some level of what people won't take. I mean, they'll drink Bud Light all day. They'll drink Keystone Light all day. One of the main ones I see coming out the stores on the checkout line is Natural Light, which sells at a fiery pace here. But that's a quality product for a budget light beer. And they were selling the Beer 30 Light for $10.99 a 30-pack, and they couldn't give it away. They probably wouldn't have been able to sell it for $6.99 a 30-pack. People would not buy it. But Milwaukee's Best Light 30-packs, they buy that stuff like it's going out of style and all of that. So that does very well. And this does, from what I can tell, this beer does okay. It trickles out the store. A few people buy it, like me, to sample it. I find the price is not the most favorable. You do get a little better product, though, honestly. It's up at that level of the Old Tankard Ale, the Guinness Blonde American Lager, and all that. So you can understand that they're pricing it higher because you're getting a little more. But I don't think, to me, people are willing to pay that to get that. I wanted to say something else. Anyway, even Minha, oh, yep. Well, this is not what I was going to say, but this is an idea before we close this out. Even Minhas, the infamous, notorious, and anger-inducing, even saying the word Minhas makes me angry and sad. But even those gangsters, I'm saying that. I mean, I'm not trying to defame them, but I mean, drink the product and you'll want to defame them. Even these guys can produce Dixie beer, Dixie Black and Voodoo, Dixie Jazz Amber Lager. Those are really great beers. They can make that. But then people will turn around and buy the notorious Menas beers. And reviewing under influence, I wish he was here. He could tell you, in Canada, there's Minhas going out there. There's a Canadian Minhas brewery, and it's unbelievable. It's just like you think city brewing is questionable. This is like beyond the pale. But they have the ability. What I'm saying is, if they can make a Dixie Black and Voodoo, they have the ability. That's a contract beer. The Dixie Brewery was destroyed by Hurricane Katrina almost 11 years ago. But so they have the ability. But if the money is in putting out side pocket and all this stuff, okay, fine. There's people that drink the stuff. But I can't do it anymore. I can't do the axe head. I did it once. I threw the can away because every time I saw the can, it made me think about it. It was almost like a flashback. And I would grit my teeth. And I threw that can away. I threw that can of dog bite away. Threw it away. I threw the earthquake high gravity 12% away. I couldn't bear the 40 Street Legal. That's another one from those two outfits. Couldn't bear to look at the bottle because it made me think of what I went through. Anyway, enough of the reminiscing about traumatic beer drinking experiences. This beer here, and drinking this is making me interested. It's making me relaxed to talk about it because it's very pleasant. I would prefer if it was a 24 ounce because you just start to enjoy it. And this little guy is gone. I mean, a few gulps. I mean, literally 3 gulps, it's gone. 141 calories. That's not a lot of calories. Gee whiz, you could drink this. I don't think you would feel the effects much at all. You could almost drink it like water, but water's much cheaper, so of course I'm going to drink water, and it has no calories. But I'm glad I examined them. I had a feeling that when we went late, it was not going to encourage a lot of participation from the group, but I thought it would be more than nobody. But anyway, that's the way it is moving west, or in Jamaica's case, moving southeast of here. But anyway, it's a good beer, and I would recommend it. This is not a review, so I'm not going to give it a rating or anything, but the mouthfeel is light, as you would imagine. The finish is crisp, like they said. It's enjoyable. I would love to try the bold. They did have the Kalik and the Kalik Gold from the Bahamas around here, a Heineken brand. No one bought it. It had so much dust on those bottles. They finally got rid of it. I haven't seen it anywhere. And I like that gold, that Kalik Gold. That was a rich lager beer from the Bahamas. Rich. Boy, that was fine. That was fine. But and I have a feeling, I have an inkling that the bold would be fine. That would be an enjoyable item. Oh well. Thank you for watching this examination. Join us next week when we look at, on the regular time, Wednesday night, we look at Spaten. And one more thing, I'm a little worried about the Optimator. My normal places where I saw it, I'm not seeing it. And I'm not seeing it at all anywhere. I'm a little concerned. I know Optimator was always brewed for the American market, but I have a feeling it may have been cut. I haven't had time to research it. It's got me a little scared. We still see spotting everywhere, but Optimator seems to have left the building, so to speak. And that's a beautiful beer. Oh, Beer Advocate and the Bros and BA say it's okay. This beer is okay. You don't want to know what Ray Beer said. I think it's much better than okay. I think it's darn good. It's pleasant. Whatever issue I had with it 4 years ago has been corrected, thankfully. So good work, City Brewing. I'm becoming more and more impressed by what I'm tasting out of your Latrobe, La Crosse, and Memphis breweries. And thank y'all for watching this.